passing it up.
Well, Alex, obviously, congratulations on a very impressive victory tonight. How happy are you with your performance this evening?
Parabéns pela performance de hoje. Quão feliz que você está aí dessa vitória?
Pô, muito feliz, né? Pô, eu treinei muito, igual eu venho falando. Pô, priorizo os meus treinos, tudo que eu venho fazendo, né, para chegar aqui e dar um show. E tenho certeza que todo mundo gostou.
Super happy, you know, he just showed that our training and everything is working well, and so happy, super happy.
The big question was whether Sean was going to try to stand and trade with you or whether he was going to go immediately for takedowns. Were you surprised that he didn't really try any takedowns early on?
O legal é que a grande pergunta todo mundo pensou que o Sean ia tentar te botar para baixo e na verdade fez uma luta totalmente de pé com você, né? O que você tem a falar sobre essa performance?
Não, com certeza ele iria tentar as quedas ali, porque pô, a gente estava no começo da luta, né? Então eu estava confortável para ele ali ainda, estava ali estudando a luta ainda para ver o que eu ia fazer e pô, não deu tempo, né? Eu comecei a machucar ali a panturrilha dele, eu dei algum chute nele, né? Chutando os braços para começar a pegar ali na forma que eu queria, né? Mais na parte de cima ali na cabeça.
No, he'll absolutely start going for the takedowns, but you know, everything happened very early in the fight. I was still feeling the fight. I was hurting his body, you know, kicking the legs, going for the body. So it just happened, I think, before he was comfortable on his feet, you know, before he got caught.
So obviously you got your part done. Israel Adesanya got his part done tonight. Did you get a chance to watch the fight as it unfolded, and what did you think of his performance?
Bom, você fez a sua parte, o Adesanya fez a dele. Você teve a chance de sentar e assistir a luta do Adesanya, e o que você achou da performance dele?
Bom, sim, fiquei muito feliz, né, com a minha vitória. Fiquei feliz com a vitória do Adesanya também. Mas ele vai ter que vir melhor do que ele fez hoje, porque é uma luta que não me empolgou e também não empolgou muitas pessoas, que no quarto round ali eu vi a galera indo embora. Mas da próxima vez eu vou fazer ele lutar e empolgar essas pessoas.
Well, he sparred my part, but it was not a fight that not only did not excite me, but also did not excite the crowd. I was very sad to see that. You know, so I hope when we fight, he do a better fight than that. But for sure, I'm going to make him fight to give it a better show to the crowd.
Last question for me. It does seem like that's going to be the next fight. So I guess ideally for you, when would it happen? Where would it take place? When will you fight it?
Bom, parece que essa é a próxima luta mesmo, né? E o ideal para você assim, onde e quando aconteceria essa luta?
Bom, quando ele estivesse pronto, eu saí dessa luta, né? Passei pelo atendimento médico, não tive nenhuma lesão, então vou estar pronto para voltar aos treinos. Eu poderia voltar amanhã, mas eu vou voltar daqui 2 semanas, né? Vou curtir meu momento, mas eu vou voltar mais focado ainda.
Well, whenever he's ready, you know, I just finished my fight. I'm fine, so to start training tomorrow. I'm gonna take 2 weeks to enjoy my life a little bit. But whenever he thinks he's ready to go, I'm good.
Alex, just over here. Sean said before the fight that he thought he could stand with you. Do you think that he perhaps underestimated you at all?
Bom, o Sean falou antes da luta que ele achou que ele conseguia trocar com você. Você acha que o fato de ele ter subestimado a sua trocação foi o resultado da luta?
Bom, com certeza ele acreditou, né? Mas isso eu acho bom, porque pô, ele vai ganhando confiança e é o que eu preciso. Quando ele está ali e acha que pode me derrotar, para mim isso é muito, muito melhor. Né? Ele ganhar essa confiança. E eu, pô, como eu falei nas minhas entrevistas, né? Eu sabia que era um cara duro, um cara difícil. E se eu sei que é dessa forma, eu vou ficar mais atento, eu vou ficar mais esperto. Agora, se ele acha que é fácil, deu no que deu.
Yeah, you know, he kept saying that, so he believed on himself like he did. So he went there, you know. That's what I like. That's what I want. I want people that underestimate me. I want people that go and trade, because that's what happens, you know. If the guy comes, you know what I mean, really focused and trying to do everything, you know, makes me even better that I can get prepared for it. But you know, when you tried to trade with me, you guys saw happen.
And there was a lot of talk about you perhaps getting this opportunity quite quickly in your career in the UFC. You said that you earned it tonight. How important was that for you to prove to everybody that you earned this opportunity and this shot at the title next?
Bom, para muita gente veio falando que você não merecia ainda ganhar essa luta pelo cinturão, essa chance devido ao fato de você só ter 2, 3 lutas no UFC. Quão importante que foi para você hoje de mostrar que você é merecedor dessa chance de lutar pelo cinturão agora?
Eu vi muitas pessoas dando entrevista, mais pessoas do meio mesmo, né? Até outros lutadores, não sei o porquê, né? Talvez não aconteceu da mesma forma com eles. E aí as pessoas falam mesmo, mas eu acho que o público quer ver isso, né? Porque eu tenho certeza que as pessoas que pagam pelo ingresso para vir assistir um show, eles querem ver mesmo, quer ver o que eles viram hoje, né? Eu nocauteando ali meu adversário, né? Às vezes não importa quem que seja, né? Quem que vai estar no chão, eles querem ver o show. E eu fiz isso para eles.
Absolutely, a lot of people talk, especially fighters, you know. They think they have a chance over me, but, you know, like, ahead of me. So, feel good to prove that, and, you know, because by the end of the day, it's what the people want, and the people want to see knockouts. People want to see the style that I fight. People want to see whoever is in front of me getting knocked out, and that's what I bring for them.
Alex over here. John Jones had a lot of good things to say about you. He says that he's picking you over Adesanya. Should you fight him next? What do you have to say about all of that?
O John Jones escolheu você para essa luta, tinha muita coisa boa para falar para você, falar sobre você, né? Falou muita coisa boa. O que você tem a falar sobre ele?
Bom, é um cara que todo mundo sabe, né? Um excelente lutador. Teve uma vez que conversei com ele, né? Pelo Instagram, a rede social que eu tenho. Me elogiou muito, fiquei muito feliz, porque é um cara, que todo mundo sabe o trabalho que ele vem fazendo. E não conheço pessoalmente, não, mas, de repente um dia eu posso conhecer ele pessoalmente.
I just had good things to say about John Jones also, you know. We don't know each other personally, but we were talking to each other and DMing each other back in the days, you know, always gave me good positive vibes, so maybe one day I'll meet him. Great guy.
Alex, one last one. Did you sense that Sean might have been a little nervous in the cage with you?
Você sentiu que o Sean estava meio nervoso, assim, nervoso que eu quero dizer assim, meio com medo de você na luta?
Bom, na semana da luta aqui, né, depois da entrevista, a gente participou da coletiva. Eu vi que ele se focou totalmente ali, né, falando do Adesanya, né, e sendo que ele iria lutar comigo. Eu não sei qual que era o motivo, mas isso mostrou uma certa insegurança e eu aproveitei o momento.
Well, during the week, that's what he showed to me, especially in the press conference, when he started attacking Adesanya, you know, he showed that his focus were not there, you know, so I used that on my favor, and I think, yeah, it was a little concerned.
Thank you. Congratulations.
Alex, obviously, congratulations on an incredible victory tonight. I mean, I got to imagine you're pretty thrilled with what you did in there, but just how satisfied are you as you sit there right now?
Very satisfied. You know, obviously it's a bit of a journey, this rivalry, yeah? Like taking the belt and having the rematch and then, you know, all that talk and all that, you know, is a big part of not only my career, it just adds to the story, so it's all good, but it was hard. There was a lot of ups and downs in there, you know what I mean? It was a bit that I had to get through, but it was good to finally put an end to it and silence a lot of people that needed silencing too.
You had some swagger in there tonight. You were talking a little bit, maybe showboating a little bit. I mean, was that something about maybe the energy Max had, or is that just kind of the confidence that you're getting in your career at this point?
Confidence I'm getting, yeah, but I mean, it was more for myself. I wasn't trying to be disrespectful to him. It was more just let him know that, I was just telling him, I'm going, man, I'm seeing everything you're throwing. I think I might have said you're too slow. I didn't, wanted to be too offensive when I'm saying it, but just purely let him know and let myself know and stay on. Because I knew I had to go out there. I wanted to win every exchange. I wanted to just be better and know that I'm better, and don't get bored in there. Don't get too complacent. Don't think you've done enough and chill. Don't start to cower. Don't do any of that. Stand your ground. Hold the line. So, hold the line. You know what I mean? And just do your thing. So it wasn't disrespect. I got nothing but respect for Max. I wouldn't be the fighter I am today without him. He's made me raise the bar. I don't need anyone to help me raise the bar. I could do it myself, but he makes it easy. He makes it easy to make me be disciplined.
I know you'd already gone 5 rounds with him twice before, but you had him hurt early on, cut up. Were you surprised that this thing went all 5 rounds tonight, or did you expect that from him?
How can you be surprised with Max? You know what I mean? Obviously, a finish is always good, but I mean, for people to expect a finish with a fight like this, we're both durable, we're both tough, we're both smart. You know what I mean? It's, again, a legendary chin that I wanted to crack, and it stays legendary again. So, credit to him.
We see the wrap on the hand there, I guess. Can you tell us what happened and what the initial diagnosis is?
It's not good. I'm pretty sure it's broken. I know when I break stuff, and it's broken round. I broke it in round 2.
Last thing for me, I mean, I know you're saying, hey, I want this champ opportunity. I guess the hand will kind of factor into that.
Slows down.
But
gives me time to see what's up, what's going on. You know what I mean?
I was going to ask if there was any scenario where you thought, because obviously that's a vacant belt right now, where you should be in the first title fight, or do you think that do you see a scenario where you should be competing for the title first, or do you think you're going to have to go against somebody?
Yeah, of course I do. No, I don't need to fight anyone. Come on, man, I'm a dominant champ, taking out guys like Max Holloway 3 times. Who's really looked like that against someone like Max Holloway? People are he's on the pound for pound list. You know what I mean? You don't get to see this very often. You don't get to see someone dominate someone who's so high on the pound for pound list. Considered one of the greatest featherweights of all time. To think that I don't deserve to just move straight up, I think would be pretty silly.
Well, and to be clear, I just mean, a lot of people think...
I'm offended. No, I'm joking.
You definitely deserve it. What I mean was, a lot of people say, look, it looks like Charles Oliveira and Islam Makhachev are lined up for that title first. Do you think that should happen first, or do you think, no, man, I should be the first?
Maybe we don't even have to ask the question. You know what I mean? So, again, I wanted to be active, but, my division wasn't going to keep me active enough. I would have had to wait. So this may be coming at a good time. But, luckily, we're getting paid good. We signed a new deal. And I'm very happy with it. To be a highest paid featherweight outside corner, is pretty impressive. So I'm proud of that, and it's only up from me.
Alex, to your left. In your Max's last 16 fights against featherweights not named Volkanovski, he's 16-0 with 10 finishes. I mean, he has absolutely run roughshod over the featherweight division. Does that make it more impressive for you to have beaten him 3 times like you have, given what he's done to the rest of the division?
Oh, man, to have 3 title fights and 3 title fight wins over someone like Max rather than just other guys, of course. He was the #1 contender the whole time. Considered the greatest featherweight of all time as well. People would have his name there, you know what I mean? So, yeah, man, it's incredible, of course. To sit there and take out someone like Max 3 times. That's really, really, really saying something. So they are a lot bigger wins than your average defense.
And when you look at, for years people have said the greatest fighters of all time have been Anderson Silva, John Jones, Khabib. But when you win 21 in a row and 12 in a row in the UFC and dominate guys of the caliber that you're dominating, do you think not only the greatest featherweight of all time, but you deserve to be in discussion of the greatest fighter of all time?
Look, man, it's not up to me, but I think you'd be a bit of a fool to not have me in them conversations, you know what I mean? Look what I'm doing, look at the resume. But again, that's not up to me, you know what I mean? But we're doing good. We're pretty impressive, and I don't know, what do you guys think, you know what I mean? I know people have been pretty biased and being, again, I've talked about being hard dubbed by a lot of my speech was to stand up. Maybe some of you as well. Stand up, some of you, some of the haters. A lot of people needed to see me go out there and do that. I wanted to silence people. I don't hold it. I don't hold any animosity. I'm not angry at you, but some of you needed to know. I'm not pointing at you. I'm just saying some people needed to know. So again, you can be biased as you want, but I mean, what I'm doing is pretty incredible. And for everyone watching, still, again, that's what I mean by stand your ground. People are going to try and bring you down whatever way they can. I was getting people trying to bring me down from all angles. I stood up and said, hey, cop that. And now look at me.
Alex.
I wanted to ask you one or two other questions. And so one of them is you didn't come into the sport as a blue chip, like, you weren't this guy that people were talking about the day you turned pro. There's a kid named Bo Nickel that was a great wrestler that's, starting in MMA now, and he has an All-American wrestling background. When did you finally start to believe that you could be at that level? Like, at what point in your career did you start to say, hey, you know what, I'm good at this, and I could, reach these great, extraordinary heights?
Back in the streets of the Gong, pretty early, you know what I mean? I went in the gym, and even Joe Lopez, my head coach, he doesn't let anyone just fight and go and fight. Like, didn't take him long. He knew that I had the ticker. I had a lot of go in me, and not only I had that belief, he had that belief in me as well, pretty early.
Alex, right over here. Did you see the cut on Max, and were you surprised that it didn't get stopped?
I did. Hey, like I said, there's been some people that have said some things, and there's been. I'm not going to hate on anyone. We've had our chats. I'm okay. I'm over it. But some people needed to see that, and I hope you respect me now, and have me as a real champ now, because I know you've been sort of maybe not too disrespectful, but disrespectful enough. So hopefully I've changed your tone. And I'm happy to answer your question now.
Yeah, well, that was never my intention. I tweeted out tonight that I think you're neck and neck with Kamaru Usman for #1 pound for pound.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Want to know about your interaction with Henry Cejudo backstage? We saw him come up to you, and you guys had some words.
Mm-hmm.
What happened there?
Oh man, he just said like he wants to challenge me. He thinks he's got what it takes. Man, I need challenges, right? But I mean, they need to be big fights, and if people scream for it, we'll see. You can never say never. Like, obviously he's done some great things, whether he's got work to do, and I think it could make a big fight, but, I don't even know what's going on. But, look, I respect the guy. He can fight. Olympic wrestler, two-time, two-division champion. It's impressive. So we'll see what happens. But, I mean, obviously, right now, yeah, we've got to wait and see.
And the talk is about moving up. Aljamain Sterling, the champion in the division below, tweeted out that he feels he could take you down and submit you pretty easily.
Who said that, sorry?
Aljamain Sterling.
Oh, Aljamain said that?
Yeah.
That's all right. That's okay. Let him talk. It's all right. He's got a division, his own division to hold on, you know what I mean? Credit to him to fight someone like Peter Yan and get the win, but settle down.
And as you said, last thing for me, you seem to know your body pretty well. Have you had that type of injury with your hand before, and how long do you think?
Well, my first fight with Max, I broke pretty much the exact same one on the right hand. I broke that twice, the same spot, and I'll be very surprised if it's not the same injury.
Alex, just to the back here.
Yep.
Hi. You spoke about obviously moving up to 155. Charles Oliveira today sent out a message to Conor McGregor trying to get that fight done. If that does happen, where does that leave you and your hopes for capturing the title at lightweight?
Can Conor even fight yet? Like, I just, you know what I mean? Like, everyone's calling Conor's name, and they will always call Conor, but, I won't take that serious till there's pen on paper and there's some real serious talks. But, again, let me see what's happening with this. It gives me time to see what's floating about and see what's happening. Maybe see what's happening in my division. Again, I want to be active, but if it's not opponents, maybe it's injuries that might slow me down a little bit. But other than that, I need to stay active, and I want that double champ status. And like I said, I can stay active enough, and I've proved that. No, what is it, 3 fights in 9 months? I just fought 3 months ago. Not many champions are doing that. I don't think I can get a #1 contender that quick and keep me that busy. So give me another division to do it.
Alex, back here.
Yep.
You say it's not up to you to decide who the best fighter in the world is, where you rank and stuff. But let's just say it was up to you. Are you the best fighter in the world right now, pound for pound? If it was up to you, outside looking in, are you the man right now?
It's not up to me. Honestly, there's great fighters. You got Usman, you got Israel. Like, you forget about Stylebender. You know what I mean? He's a man as well. You know what I mean? Easy. So that's not up to me. I respect martial artists, and it would be good to get that. But I mean, it's not up to me. It's up to everyone else. And again, there's fighters that I still look up to that are still fighting now. But obviously, I've got a good resume, and I can see why people might have me in them conversations. But I'll leave it at that.
Alex, right
If you move up to lightweight, is there like, let's say Charles goes and fights Conor, right? But he's not technically the champion, so you could end up fighting Islam for the vacant belt. Do you have a preference out of those two, who you'd like to fight, or do you think it needs to be Charles as to justify the championship?
Charles is a bigger fight because let's be honest, he's really the champion. He's the uncrowned champ. You know what I mean? Like, he's the champ. Everyone looks at him as a champ. So that's the bigger fight. But if Islam was to fight him, and while I'm healing or something, they have that fight and Islam takes it, then it's Islam. Whoever's got hold of that belt, or whoever's considered the champ, that's what I want. I want a nice shiny belt on both shoulders. So I want to even it out. You know what I mean? I already got a sore back sometimes. You know what I mean? From carrying this one belt, so I need two. Level me out.
Is your intention to keep both belts and defend both titles at the same time?
Sorry?
I think your hand's hurt. Do you intend on holding both belts at the same time and defending both titles, like running both divisions simultaneously?
Yeah, 100%. Do I think I can defend both belts? Yeah, 100%. That's what I mean. I want to be active, and I'm a fighter that's proved that I can do it. A lot of people are fighting, once a year or twice a year. It's hard to consider them to be able to do that. But I just fought 3 months ago, and it wasn't like I'm just fighting anybody. I just fought Max Holloway 3 months after. I had to prepare straight away for Max Holloway. You know what I mean? I'm obviously serious about staying active, so there's some credibility behind it.
Would you add much weight to go up to 155, or would you have to stay the same?
I'd stay where I'm at. I'm strong. I'm a strong dude. Strong, powerful. Keep that sharpness. Keep that speed. Like I said, I train with a lot of heavier guys. People, I don't know how they, think that I wouldn't be able to handle it. Like I said, a lot of my training partners are very high level lightweights, if not even heavier sometimes.
Alex,
and obviously my weights as well, but I've got a lot of big boys that I train with.
Alex, over here.
Yes.
A lot was being made going into the fight about Max sort of, trash talking a bit, which is kind of out of character. Looking back on the fight now with how it played out, do you think that maybe worked against him at all? Not to take anything away from your performance, but kind of looking back at maybe his mentality going into the fight.
No, it worked against him because it gave me the fire. It gave me the fire. I needed that. I was going to go into that press conference. I thought it was going to be chill. I didn't expect much. It ended up being chaos from all angles, which was fun. But I wanted to go there. I was going to soak up the energy, even if it was the booze, whatever. I was going to use that to get that fire in the belly. He started trash talking. I was like, thank you. I needed that. I said it to him. That's why I was chilling. I was smiling, letting him know that it ain't affecting me. You ain't getting in my head. That's why I was like, I don't know if it was a part of his mind games to try and make me make it a brawl or something like that and fight silly or something. I don't know. But I was just like, mate, you just put fire in my belly. That's all you did. I said, thank you. And then at the weigh-in, I was like, now that I showed him that it didn't work, I wanted to add on to that. Then before the weigh-in, I was just chilling again. I'm like, man, I'm about to do a face-off. I'm about to get a crowd. I've got to do a speech. I completely forgot about it. So I needed to sort of pump myself up. So this trash talk and this intensity that he brought just put me where I needed to be. So if featherweights and lightweights want to do that whenever we fight and they want to boost me up like that, bring it on, please.
And kind of on that note as well, you talked about after the fight several times saying you got to stand up for yourself, and you really sort of pushed that message. Was it that talk? Because, you do hear it, people saying Max was the uncrowned champ after that rematch and saying that he won. Was that the main thing?
I think Mike Bourne might have said that too, eh?
I'm not calling anyone's names here. I'm just saying in general, you did hear some of that talk. Was that the sort of the main part of the message?
Look, I don't know what I've moved past that, so I don't hold any grudge. I'm all good. But I mean, there was a part of my time where that shit did get to me, and it hurt. It was hurting. It was a hard time, but it made me now who I am. So I'm proud. I'm happy that all happened. It's all a good experience for me. Now it made me unstoppable, invincible. A lot of people were bringing me down, you know what I mean? And I had to stand up for myself from all angles. And I think people can understand what I'm trying to say there. All angles.
Yeah.
All angles. Even you've got no idea. People don't. Now I can say it because I went and done that to Max. That second fight with Max, when I tell you I didn't turn up, there's a few things that happened. We obviously know about USADA coming and waking me up 4 hours before I had to get up, which is ridiculous. Don't know how that happened and how that could happen. I'm over that. But I mean, I end up doing silly things as well. I took melatonin tablets thinking it was just silly. And then I woke up drunk. Not drunk, but So it was rough. It was rough. But, I'm not the type of guy to make excuses. I'm telling you now because I got to shut everyone up. Sorry, I'm a bit worked up. I got to silence a lot of people. And now I'm telling you, I didn't turn up. Now you're going to believe that because of what I just did tonight.
Yeah.
So, again, that's why I was so confident coming into this one. I was saying I didn't turn up. He turned up, and he still couldn't beat me. Now you know why I'm so confident.
A lot of people watching at home felt like this was your best performance. Was this the most satisfying win from your perspective?
Yeah, man, a finish would have been great, but I mean, like, you know, I didn't bother saying I'm going to knock him out because how many fights has he had? Like 30 people have tried and 30 people haven't even dropped him. So, did I get a drop? I don't know if I dropped him. No, I don't think I dropped him. Fuck. That
Alex,
legendary chin holds on once again.
Alex, right back here. You've been one of those champions, you know, through all of it. Just Alex from Australia, competitively out there with your skills. What keeps pushing you to keep getting better when you've already achieved everything you have? In terms of in the gym and just getting better as a martial artist.
Well, that's it. I want to be better. You got to be disciplined. You know, people say they want to be better, but they don't do the work. You know, I'm lucky enough to have a team that's going to help me be better. We're going to study. We're going to try and improve. There's so many ways to improve. It's mixed martial arts. Look how many martial arts there are. Then you've got your brain, your mental side. Then you've got your strength and conditioning, your nutrition. You can evolve everywhere. And that's what I try to say to people fight week. People are saying how he leveled up. Okay, yeah, we both leveled up skill-wise, but I leveled up here. And you've seen what I meant by that tonight.
Another question I have, when you look back on a fight like tonight, or for example, your fight with the Zombie recently, when you watch it back and we see it, it's like, man, this guy was just dialed in. When you watch it, what kind of things do you see from yourself?
Well, I got to watch it, yeah. Like, it's funny, like, because again, I'm my hardest critic, you know what I mean? So I go in there and it doesn't look as pretty to me because I'm a hardest critic. So for while it's happening, even though I was in there and I knew I was jabbing him up and things were going well, you know, sometimes you need to check yourself. You know what I mean? And that's why I was talking, and that's why you see me saying stuff. It was just purely to stay in my own head and just let me know. Because even the Zombie, I was zoned in, people you would never have known, but I wasn't getting bored in there, but I was, I almost didn't want to be in there. I was tired. It was like 1:30 in the morning. I was like, man, hurry, I just want to get this over and done with. It was a weird feeling for me. So I remember that this week. I'm like, I need that fire in the belly. That's what I mean with the press conference and that trash talk that he started. Thank you. I needed that. While I was talking to him in there, I needed it. Stay sharp, stay on. And I really felt that tonight.
Thank you.
Alexander, right here. You specifically spoke out to your countrymen afterwards. You kind of addressed it a little bit about stand up for yourself. What was behind that message? Did it have anything to do with the draconian restrictions during the past 2 years, or am I reading too much into that?
You're probably reading a bit too much. It was a lot of things. Like, obviously, again, I was hard done by with criticism, bias. I could say a lot of bias sort of stuff, but I mean, again, like I don't care. Like I don't want to sit there and whinge. Like I'm not whinging about it. But I mean, I was hard done by. But I mean, it might have been hard at one point to get through it. But now, I stood up for myself, stood my ground, and now everyone's jumping on board.
Alex, one question over here. You said you wanted a beer when you got up to that.
You got one? Anyone got a beer? What? Hook a brother up. You got one for me? I'll scull it for you right now.
Is a shoey on the menu for you tonight, and how do you plan on celebrating?
Just let me. I'll just scull a beer. You know what I mean? Like, my hand. I don't know if I can do my good technique. I've got a perfect technique, so I don't spill it with the shoe. My hands are too busted up to do that, so I might just need to hold it and just down it.
Back at UFC 193, you turned up to the fighter hotel every single day, just in case there was a dropout, someone couldn't make the weight. Looking at where you are now, back then, did you think this was possible?
Yeah, man, that's the mentality I've always had. You know what I mean? Like I talk about, or even when I was looking for that title, don't let anyone take that opportunity away from you. Be there. Be the guy that, you know, all right, if they need someone, you're going to have to be the guy. That's what I was doing when I was chasing that title, you know what I mean? Like, I went over to Edmonton, you know the story, you know what I mean? I'm doing these types of things, that's what I was doing. And as champion, I still got that mentality. I still got that drive, you know what I mean? And that's made me who I am, you know? Obviously, I'm skilled, I'm fast. A lot of people are going to watch and be like, man, this bloke's talented as fuck, excuse my language. But, I mean, so much more than that. It's that mentality that I have that's made me be who I am and what you see out there. So, it's, man, that's just what I've always had. And, yeah, man, that never give up attitude, man. Stand up for yourself. Volk's coming for fucking everyone. I told you.
Just to follow up on that, if someone had pulled out during that fight week and you got in back then at 193, do you think the storyline would have been the same? Do you think you would have just blitzed the way you have through to the title?
Yeah, I think so. I don't know when I got in after that, how long after it was, but hey, I think everything happens for a reason. I really do, man. Sometimes the craziest shit happens and then you're like, what the hell? And then bang, something better comes out of it and it works in your favour anyway. Stay positive. Stand your ground and you'll be right. And that's, this is just still the beginning of a crazy story. Like I said, got a new contract I'm very proud of. I think, you're going to be seeing something special from here on out.
Hey, Alex, just to clarify, how many hours before the fight against Max the last time did you saw to wake you up?
Before I had to get up?
Yeah, like how long was it before you had to wake up?
Didn't want to get into it, but I mean, it was 4 hours before I had to get up. So it was halfway through my sleep. I literally got there, they woke us all up and said that they were going to test him. And obviously my coaches and management were like, what do you mean? Like, what the hell? Went there and then obviously I woke up during the night to piss. I couldn't fill it up. Had to water load. Like again, the story goes on. I was sculling water so I could hurry up and piss so I can go to bed. Couldn't get to sleep, so I took melatonin tablets. Woke up, still in a sleep cycle, and then just and now that you watch that fight, it probably makes a bit of sense. So put it this way: when I say I didn't turn up, now I can say it. It's not an excuse because look what I did tonight. I waited till now to tell you the full story. But I mean, that's why I'm so confident. Look what I did. I forced everything. If you watch I had no reactions. My reaction times was way off. I had no reaction, no pace. Everything was forced. I had to force everything. I had to use my head to just force things to happen. But that's the type of guy I am. Even when things were all against me, I still stood my ground. I still forced shit and made it happen. And that's the type of champion I am. So I'm sort of glad that happened because it made me even stronger.
What percent of your full capacity do you think you were in the cage? 50%, 60%? What do you think it was?
Oh man, anyway, I didn't want to get into this, but I mean, obviously, I didn't feel good, and that's why I wanted a rematch straight away. I was happy, obviously, I was talking about it, and then at a time I was calling for the fight almost. It was like I was calling for the fight because I wanted to show myself because I know that I didn't turn up, but then I was like, I don't need to worry about that. And I finally got over it and all that type of stuff, and never let all that stuff get to me. And then, this fight come up, and it was a big fight. Everyone wanted to see it again, and all that type of stuff. I was like, all right, cool, let's do it. So it was all good. So I knew what was going to happen, and now you've got to see it.
Alex, just over here.
Last one, yep.
You've been on the road for 8 fights. You've been in title fights on the road for 5 fights. You've never had the chance to actually fight with your belt in your home country. Has the time come for you to take that belt home and defend it in front of your home fans?
I'm sick of getting booed, man. I'm a nice fucking guy, and I'm getting booed every time I'm fighting in other people's countries, you know what I mean? So everyone's getting home crowd advantages while I'm the champ. This trilogy, I didn't get to fight on my turf at all. It was neutral ground and 2 on his turf. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Let me fucking defend my belt back home, and we're going to do that. Let's do it. We'll make it happen. My belt or a lightweight belt. Let's do it. More Volk's coming for everyone.
Israel, congratulations on another victory, a defense of the belt, but you didn't seem necessarily completely satisfied at the close of the fight. So I guess, how are you feeling right now about your performance?
A lot better, because, I've said this before in the past. On my worst day, I can kill the best man. I call that suicide. So on my worst day, on the off night, I had an off night tonight. So Eugene told me, the people who really know you, my teammates, my family, they know you had an off night. And I still fucked them up.
When did you know you were having an off night? Was there anything during the day that you thought it's not feeling right or on the way to the cage?
No. It was in the fight, maybe when I couldn't find my power, like my power shots, my kicks. the initiators, the jabs, the leg kicks were working, but I was trying to find the power shots, but he was adjusting well. It wasn't just me versus him. It was his team versus my team, which is what I was also looking forward to. So I told John Crouch, like, I was looking forward to that, the battle of the game plans. And it's the helicopter. And yeah, so I was just looking forward to John Crouch versus Eugene Behrman, and they were adjusting well each round. I could hear them even talking what they were saying. I was like, okay. But yeah, he's a formidable fighter. I've called this ages ago, and he showed it tonight.
Like you said, you were looking forward to this fight for a long time. So I guess what did surprise you in there tonight? You know, you praised his game plan. What played out differently than you thought it would?
What played out differently? Yeah, his adjustments to what I was doing. Because I'd go ahead, I'd go to his body, I'd go to his legs. I'm just gonna keep going. I'd go to his legs, and he'd adjust and get away from my power, but I was able to get away from his as well.
It's still a win, still a title defense, but there were some,
6 title defense on my worst night, and still.
There were boos at the end. I'm just curious, does that affect you at all?
They've been here since 3 p.m. They're all drunk. They don't know what real fighting is or real finesse. And I've said this, look, the greats, they all get to this point. I've seen it when I was just a fan, still a fan. Anderson Silva, GSP. I remember fights where I'd be like, that was a fucking fantastic fight. And the same thing, people would just boo them. GSP, one of the fucking GOATs, and people would just boo him. I'm like, what the fuck are you guys watching? You dumb fucks. Ali, Floyd Mayweather, same thing. You get to this point where it's like, you're so great, people just want to see you fall, you know? They just want to see you fall, no matter what. And if it's not like a show-out, spectacular performance, then it's like, he's not even that good. But trust, like, Jared knows I'm a good fighter. He knows I'm a great fighter, and I gave him the same credit as well.
Last thing for me, you've been saying Alex Bejeda, that's the next fight. I guess, did you see his performance tonight? What'd you think about it? And I guess, how soon do you think you'd like to line up that fight if that is indeed the next one?
That's the next fight. I saw his fight. It was a good fight, but Sean Strickland should have focused on his job like I told him to. Soon, how soon? We'll find out.
Is he? You know, people are saying, criticizing you for your fighting style, but at the end of the day, it seems like your opponents get in there and kind of freeze up in front of you. I'm curious, what do you think makes them do that? Is it the sense of scale of the fight itself? Is it your movement? What exactly makes these guys sort of slow down in front of you?
A mixture of all. I felt like the moment got to him, but he picked himself back up. I'll give it to him. He adjusted and picked his energy back up, and I feel like the moment and the skills, I feel that's what gets to them. And I said, this is an acquired taste to be under the spotlight. I can thrive under this bitch. I don't melt under the spotlight. I shine. So yeah, I feel like it's a combination of everything.
You said that you described this as an off night, though, and you've already said like how you think Jared's a good challenger for you. So when you can beat him, even though you're having an off night, does that give you confidence going forward, thinking like, well, even if I have an off night, I can still win? It's emotional, I know.
Yeah. You're good, Oscar. That's why I like you. Mom? Thanks, Dad. Let me see. Gives me confidence. Going forward, yeah, I like the story. Like I've said this is my life is a movie. My life is an anime. Whatever. Like I'm facing a guy who's beat me in kickboxing, and now he's still chasing me because he knows I'm the king, and he wants to try and get that away from me. You guys see what happens when my back's against the wall, when I really have that pressure. I put pressure on myself, but when I have pressure put on me as well. So, yeah, I look forward to fighting him in that next fight. How soon, we'll find out. I need a bourbon and maybe a couple of shots, and I'll see how I'm feeling first.
Israel
on the front
just
right
going off of.
Sorry. You go. Oh,
Sorry,
you go.
just going
You're
off
next.
of just going off of that. You said that gives you pressure, knowing that you're going to be going up against Alex next, and given your history. But does that give you that kind of fire? Being a champion, defending your belt for so many times, do you need that kind of extra fire to kind of keep you hungry as a champion?
No, really. I was very hungry for this fight. I felt like this camp, you can ask Eugene, this camp was great. Even better than the last camp, because he asked me at the beginning of this camp, how are you going to make it better than the last one? But I don't feel like I need it. I'm just taking, tick, 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 tick. 6 title defenses, and still on my worst night. So the next one, it's something interesting for me. Someone I fought before in a different code, and I get to show him what MMA is about, what mixed martial arts is about.
And of course, you had a lot of respect for Jared going into this one.
Yeah.
What was the conversation like between you two? After the fight, we saw you both kind of.
What did I said? Like, we're just showing respect. Like, we're 2 fighters and showing respect because we're both on here trying to put food on the table, set our families up. And I just said, I didn't like the speech of him saying, "Oh, I was broke," after one of his fights, his recent fights. And I was like, I hope your management got you sorted for this fight. I hope they pushed for more money for him for this fight. Like I said, you guys are asking me, what am I doing for these fighters, for fighter pay, whatnot? I'm giving people opportunities. I'm giving people opportunities to raise their pay, raise the bar. And also, so it was just me and him showing appreciation, and that was it.
And then just final one from me. John Jones came out on Twitter.
Fuck John Jones. Fuck John. I don't want to hear about that bitch. What are you going to talk about my nails for? He's just jealous and insecure. He's a fuckboy. He could never rock shit like this. He's a bitch.
And also he said that he was backing.
Fuck him. I don't really give a fuck what he thinks. Yeah, next.
Okay, thank you.
I have to ask you about your entrance. It was obviously with the Undertaker urn, the hat, the music. How did you get all that approved? And I know you said you were feeling dark all week, so was that just the theme?
It just works. I don't know. Like the theme for me. I'm an artist. It just works. I didn't plan on Vince and the Triple H and them being here. On Tuesday, I was chilling. So Wednesday nights when we wrestle, towards the end of the rounds, 12 rounds, towards the end, the last 3 or 4 rounds, I'll chalk on my playlist from YouTube, WWE Attitude, from the Attitude Era. I have like 20 different tracks from superstars I admire. And that will get me in that zone. And the Undertaker's theme was one of them. So as I was sitting down, feeling it on Tuesday, it just made sense. And also, big shout out to the the UFC production team, because they were really accommodating and just helpful to make it a show. This is the UFC. You want to give them a show, you know what I mean? So, and I said all week, this feels like WrestleMania. Who's undefeated at WrestleMania? The Undertaker. And I've been feeling dark all week. So you saw hints of the Death Note, the speech from Madara in the beginning, and then you saw the scream at the end and the split face with me and Madara, the purple. Fuck, it just makes sense. Susano, all that.
How hands-on were you in that creation?
Very hands-on. I'm very hands-on with my freestyle bender team. Shout out to Luca, Stay Hydrated, Jeff St. Lair, and David Blackamoto, the greatest reporter in the history of the MMA. And I was very hands-on. I felt like a producer today when I was at the arena. So I was speaking. Who's that? Jimmy? Fuck. Excuse me if I forgot his name. I think it was Jimmy. I was talking to him and just walked through, and then having a look on the screen, seeing what it looked like from TV, seeing what it looked like in the arena, and they were so accommodating, which was really cool. And I appreciate that because, again, I like to put on a show. I like to entertain, and I did just that.
What's your favorite Undertaker match?
Fuck. Him and Mick Foley is the first one that comes to mind, and I think Mick Foley might have broken his neck.
Hell in the Cell?
Oh, Hell in the Cell, off the top rope. That's the first one that came to mind.
He jumped off the stretcher to run back?
Yeah, fucking crazy, man. Good times.
Is it? You had talked about giving paydays for other fighters and helping them improve their situation. But what about for yourself? Because, now you set yourself up to fight Alex, and the drama that's going to come, hey,
I'm telling you, I said, Sean or Alex is big money fights.
Yeah.
They're either big money fights. And I look forward to this one. And my boy Timbo, he knows what's going on, so we're gonna work. And me and the UFC, we have a good relationship. I like working with them. And I've said this already. Rising tides lifts all the ships, but Rome wasn't built in a day. So it's a step-by-step process. And I even asked Jared after the fight. I told him, I was like, and he's like, yeah, I got looked after. I was like, good. And he's going to keep that going. His management company, if they're smart, they'll keep pushing because he's a great fighter. I'm saying he's a good fighter, but he's a great fighter and a cool dude as well.
Is there pressure on you in a night like this because you're a 5-1 favorite or better than 5-1 favorite to win, and you've got this Pereira fight coming up that will be your big performance, your big night? Does that put a little more pressure on you when everybody's expecting you to blow him out?
No, not really. I wasn't focused on the odds. I didn't even know what the odds said. Oh, shout out to Drizzy. I don't know what he won, but what fucking curse.
You guys are, not you guys, but anyone who's so stupid. Stupid. I don't post shit, but like, was it the Vittori fight? Me and Drizzy was going back and forth fight week, talking. And after the fight, was going back and forth in the DMs, talking as well. So I don't know, people walk curse. And also the green shorts, another curse. I've broken all the curses. I've broken, the Drake curse now. So stupid. I've broken the shorts curse, because apparently I changed my shorts from black and gold. EA cover curse, I've broken that. Embedded haircut curse. Whatever fucking more curse. You're so stupid, you fucking cunts. Sometimes, all of you online, as soon as that video came out, all the comments were just curse. And I feel like they don't even believe it. They just saying it to try and get likes, to try and get like the thumbs ups, because they're doing it for likes. But yeah, I just remember. So shout out to Drake for betting $1 million on me. And yeah, I'll see you on OVO weekend.
Hi, Izzy, over here to your right. Duke Rockhold told MMA Junkie that I'm the only one that could beat Israel Adesanya. What's your response to that?
Everyone thinks that.
Follow-up question: are you gonna be celebrating with Volkanovski tonight?
Fuck yeah! Oh, shout out to my guy Alexander Volkanovski. Just inspiring, fucking inspiring. Like I had a 5-0 shutout, but his was way cooler and more impressive. You know, like I said, I had an off night, but he was fucking on. Ooh, and when he's on from the first round. He started talking to Max. Also, I've said, shout out to Max Holloway. I'm a big fan. The guy's a cool dude, man. I've seen him around all week. He and his team are always really respectful, you know. But this is what we do. We go to war, and afterwards we show respect. So it's my team against his team. But when it was in there and it was going down, even yesterday at the weigh-ins when they were like barking, you know, I am the Heat. I was just like, yeah. I held the line with Alex back there. I was holding the line. But again, we're different, and Alex is fucking different, bro. You guys don't understand. He inspires me the way he fucking works. When he came over to CKB this camp, I knew the bar was gonna get raised, and he fucking raised the bar, man. Fucking beautiful. Ugh, beautiful.
Izzy, when you say you had an off night, like when do you know that that's happening? Is it something that you knew before you even got in the cage? Is it unfolding?
No, not before the cage. I mean, it was probably 4th round, but it wasn't something I like dwelled on like, oh, I'm having an off night. Afterwards, I look at the performance from my first person perspective, and I'm like, I have an off night. And Eugene was the first one to tell me, because they know. When you know your people, excuse me, hiccups. Water, please. Sorry. Off night. Yeah, so my people who actually know me and love me, train with me, they know what I can do when I'm on, they see it. But again, like I said, I can kill the best man on my worst day.
And I don't know if you've had your shower yet, or you kind of decompress.
Nah, I'll do that after the club. I got obligations to do. I'd rather just go to bed, but they're gonna pay me lots of money to go drink and party, so I gotta go do that. Fucking hell, it's just such a drain, Vegas. Ugh.
I know you can't know what's going to happen when you get in there and start thinking, but can you think right now what maybe the biggest positive you'll take away from this fight will be?
I'm just grateful. Like I said all week, I felt so much love. There was a point this week, I got a little emotional at the PI because upstairs I looked around and there was a CKB class upstairs at the PI. And, give me a second. Like my brother, we've talked about this. I don't like to harp on about it, like for you guys, because not for this, but I'm harping on about it because there's injustice. The guy who killed Falvake, he's getting 18 months, and he's going to be out earlier than that. So it's like, what the fuck? But there was a moment I had when I was looking around the class and seeing everyone just like training from my team. There was a lot of Kiwis and a bunch of Aussies as well, and I just felt emotional. And I just ran to the back of the PI, and I just kind of had a, moment to myself because I wished he was here, just doing this shit with us. But I know he's looking down on us, inspired, and I know he's looking down on us, protecting us along with VDK, Monu, Praveen, Pati, Wilman, and yeah, it's just one of those things that for me, just being surrounded by my team, I just felt so loved this week. I felt so much love at the house we were at. I felt so much, just minor, the spirit. And then as the fight got closer, you know, our spot became a fortress for battle. And then, yeah, fuck, I feel good. But at the same time, yeah, I just love my team, man. I love my team.
I appreciate that insight. And last thing from me, when Alex was in here earlier, he said, when you guys fight, I'm going to make him fight. The fact that he's already, you know, thinking that he wants to, you know, make it exciting or whatever his mindset is there, is that already kind of a win for you in a way that maybe he might try to fight outside of himself a bit?
Like I said, at the top, it's nice at the top. It's nice at the top. So whatever he feels he needs to do to make me fight, I fought tonight. I fought my ass off tonight. Yeah, I didn't feel like I was chilling or I was waiting. I was pressing the action. I was going for it. I was touching him up. But like I said, I was just critical because I couldn't get my power stuff going. I couldn't get the change-ups going. But he's a formidable opponent. You can't sleep on this guy because he'll sleep you. And I'm not here to fucking, you know, risk my health, risk my brain. And I do that, but I'm not going to do it stupidly just for the entertainment of some grongos, some drunk folks.
Izzy, earlier you talked about the moment with Jared, and I was wondering at the press conference, his answers were kind of rambling a little bit. It sounded like he was nervous, and you said, "Hey man, just keep it short and sweet."
Yeah.
Like, did you kind of sense in that moment like he was starting to get to him a little?
I could feel it from that moment, the moment after that, with the stare down when I shook his hand, and at the weigh-ins as well. Like, I was like, okay, he's not ready for this. But like I said, he picked himself up. He's a mature guy, I said. So I was like, he picked himself up later on in the fight. I don't know what round, but I saw him right before the round, and he picked himself up with his breath, and I was like, huh. So I'm sure he does a lot of breath work as well. And yeah, he did what he had to do.
And then the last thing for me is you mentioned the nails earlier. Was there anything from the commission like?
They're just pretty. They're not sharp. They're drip tips. They're not even. They call them French tips apparently, but they're not even made in France. So I call them drip tips. And my toes, they're kind of sparkly, black and sparkles. I like them. I don't know why fucking men are so insecure about what the fuck I wear.
No, sorry, I'm not.
Not you guys. Not you guys. I don't know. No, my bad. I didn't mean to come to you.
I just wondered like if the commission was looking and they were like, oh, what's going on? Like there was no.
Yeah, a little bit, but they check and kind of I see the look on their face. They pause and I'm just like, it's not that long. It's an illusion. It's just pretty. That's what I tell them. It's not that long. It's just pretty.
Is you in the middle here?
Israel down here to your left. When you made your walk with the Undertaker's theme, did you know that Vince and all them were actually?
I found out this morning, but it wasn't a thing I planned. Like I said, the universe just provides, and it's a weird synergy, weird crossover. But I like it because I grew up on that shit.
Did you get a chance to talk to them or see them backstage?
No, I haven't talked to them. It'd be cool. I mean, I'm a big fan of Triple H. He just retired or became a Hall of Famer, which is cool. Yeah, he's a superstar as well, a legend in the game. So it's just cool to see guys like that. Yeah, well, I hope they enjoyed the show. Yeah, I had an off night, but still 5-0. It's crazy, isn't it?
Alice won tonight. You won tonight. Kai is fighting in a few weeks. Could be 3 champions from City Kickboxing.
Crazy.
And
with no government funding as well, no government backing like the national rugby or netball team or cricket team or national football team. And yet here we are, this little old island in the little spot in the world, 3 champions in the biggest combat sports league on the fucking planet right now. How amazing is that? You know who we have? The people of New Zealand. They're the ones that back us, and we back ourselves.
It's been a rough few years for you guys too.
With the fucking quarantine,
pandemic,
and
your teammate,
all that stuff, and then they gaslighting us as well. Oh, we're not blocking you guys. Meanwhile, they're letting the Indian cricket team into the country and letting them quarantine, letting the All Blacks quarantine in their own little bubble, but then they come to our bubble and break us up, hunting Dan, while he's getting ready for his fight, threatening to arrest him for what? For fucking training, and then they're gaslighting us. So yeah, I don't do this for them anyway. They're the fucking bureaucrats. Fuck them. I do this for the people of the country, the people who support us as fighters. That's who I do it for, and the people around the world who support me as well, regardless of nationality or wherever the fuck you come from. If you fuck with me, I fuck with you, and I appreciate you.
What does it say about your team that you were able to, overcome all that stuff and possibly have 3 champions in the UFC in a few weeks?
The mana, the aroha in our team is just unmatched. It's unmatched. John Anna keeps saying we're his favorite team in sports, and I keep thinking he's like just G'ing me up, but I'm my favorite team in sports. So yeah, and I believe him. Don't get me wrong, I believe him, and I appreciate that. But yeah, I love my team, man. Like I said, I just love my team, and I love the support I get from my team, and just we know us. We got us. That's it.
Thanks, man.
Is he in the middle? The Drake curse was broken in 2017.
What fucking curse? I broke that shit last year.
It was broken in
let me go. You know what? I'm going to post it on Twitter. Let me do it right now, actually. Let me do it right now. I'm going to do something real quick. Hold up. Actually, I'll do it after just because I wanna get this over with. I'll do it after.
I was going to say, it was broken in 2017 with the Warriors, allegedly, but he is 0-2 in big MMA bets recently. How good does it feel to get the win for him? And to answer your question, he won approximately, depending when he made the bet, around $250K.
Nice. It feels good for me to get the win, but also myself, anyone else that bet on me, it feels good. And it feels good. First of all, even like I said, I've been talking to him for a while now, like since last year. So I already broke the curse. But to get that call from him while I was cutting weight, and then to be, like, you guys, you'll have an album, I don't know what you listen to, whatever you have on repeat sometimes, or a track you have on repeat. This guy, his albums are like, there's 3 of them that are like timestamps for my life. Like moments in my life where I'm like, if I hear that track or that album, I'm like, I remember where I was at in my life at that stage. And music is powerful. Music is something that brings people together, that evokes emotion out of people. So for me to get that kind of praise and recognition and love from an artist that I admire like that, one of my favorite artists of all time, it's cool. It's cool to be recognized like that by him. And it goes deeper. I can't tell you too much because the guy he's crazy, bro. He's too nice, too cool. He's too cool, and I appreciate him. So yeah, shout out to Drake. He's the sixth god.
And as a Toronto kid, do you have a top 3 favorite for Drake songs?
Man, why you gotta do this to me? Right now, why you gotta do this to me? Well, I mean, he did say it was, what did he say? He said, I've never walked anyone out. And then I was asking Tim, I was like, what would you walk out to? I'm thinking, Lord Knows, as one of them. That's just straight bar for bar for bar. And then Rick Ross kills it at the end. I love Yeba's Heartbreak. I had that on repeat in my studio last year. Because it was just a track that kind of like, the song, it was so soulful. So fucking soulful. And there's an unreleased one, actually. I don't know if he actually got it, but my boy Frano, who's a music producer from New Zealand, he gave me a little preview, and I love hearing that track. I don't want to give it away, but that's probably my favorite track. It's cool. I never posted it. I'm not a clout trout. Trust, I don't do this shit for likes. I just do this shit because I love it. But yeah, it's cool, like I said, to be recognized by people like that because you admire them, and yeah, you know, blah 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 blah.
Thanks, Izzy. Congrats.
No worries. Last question. Let's go. I got some bourbon to drink.
You earmarked Jared very early on as someone who was going to make it towards a title fight. Clearly, you're sort of looking many moves ahead and looking at the field and seeing who's coming up. I just wondered, who's next? Who's going to break from the pack that you've kind of earmarked as someone who's moving their way up and could potentially face you further down the line?
That's a good question, but I don't want to give away the answer. That's a good question. I appreciate that, but I don't want to give away the answer because there's a lot of killers right now coming up in middleweight as well. I see a couple of them, and I'm like, okay, all right. Let's see what you have. Let's see what you bring. But yeah, I'm watching. I'm steady watching, and yeah, my people are watching as well, so they let me know if I miss something.
So, man, thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Oh, just something I want to say. You guys have a job to do, and I'm not criticizing you guys in particular. I kind of am. But just remember this. I can do your job. I can do your job. You could never do my job. Just remember that. I could do your job. Trust me. I got freestyle bender. David runs that shit, but if I wanted to, if I had the time, I could. And I appreciate you guys for what you do, but not just for me, but for other fighters, man. Be mindful with your words. Be mindful with the way you clickbait. That shit is weak. That shit is weak, because I know how YouTube works now, and I know how these interviews work. I'm glad I have my own network, but just be mindful, because I can do your job, and you can't do mine. Just remember that. Thank you.